I have learned over the years one of the best ways with dealing with Japanese beetles is to prevent them. Never really let them get started in your garden. What a lot of us do is, well, keep in mind one thing, only about 5% of the plants that we grow in our garden, Japanese beetles like. It's just that those 5% of the plants are some of our favorites, like the roses or crepe myrtle. Once you start getting quite a few Japanese beetles to your plants in the garden, they send out a pheromone or an attractant for all their mates. And their mates can smell this attractant up to 400 or 500 feet away. So you're inviting them and attracting them from all around your garden and from all your neighbors' gardens. That's why I recommend Japanese beetle traps being put out 400 or 500 feet away from your garden. The real key is, I use the word prevent. That means whenever you normally get Japanese beetles in your garden, maybe the first, second, third, or fourth week of June, you want to spray a preventative spray that prevents them. And this is a spray that when they come to your garden, they feed on your plants and they die. But if you see a whole bunch of them on your plant and you spray your plant and they die, even over the next 1 or 2 weeks, even though they're dead, they still send out their attractant. So timing is critical. This is one of my favorite crepe myrtles. It's known as catawba, just coming into bloom. Now, getting back to the preventative spray, right now, if I were to spray this plant, it is coming into flower. And honeybees love this plant. So I've solved a couple things. When I spray as a preventative, I was spraying it almost before it came into bud. So I didn't have to worry about what am I going to do when it's in full flower. And if you look carefully here, you can see some of the Japanese beetles right here are coming to the plant, but there is only maybe a dozen Japanese beetles on the entire plant, and that's because I used a preventative spray. You can also look at the foliage, and you'll see very little damage to the foliage from Japanese beetles. And the real key again is preventative. So 1 to 2 weeks before you normally find Japanese beetles in your garden, you're going to want to spray according to the label directions. I never really like spraying flowers that are opening because that definitely will affect your pollinators and honeybees. I'm Mark Viette. Join me next time in the garden.
For more garden tips, go to inthegardenradio.com.